Hi there, welcome to our proposal for our collaborative music project. My name is Dylan.
My name is Josh.
I'm George.
My name's Sam.
Let's get right into it.
So here we have our aims and objectives. They're not actually in order because we are still trying to figure out PowerPoint. So our aim 3 is our aim 1, our aim 2 is still our aim 2. Then aim 1 is kind of happens
It's going out throughout. So let's explain it a bit. So first we have aim 3. Aim 3 is the kind of first one. So we're going to write our EP and then kind of go and record it once it's all written, and get all that done.
Aim 2 is post-production, which involves the mixing and mastering, distribution, and creating the advertisements and build an audience.
And then aim 1 will be to create our documentary, which is kind of the evidence for...
Yeah, and that's going to just happen throughout. We feel like it's best to kind of work on that as we go, so we can kind of keep on top of it.
And so here's a more like exploded view of our aims and objectives with a bit more intricacies in our things. So with aim 2, which is our post-production and things, we're going to outsource some of the more performance-based aspects of the project.
Yeah, so like, for example, like we feel like we'll need a drummer to do some of the work on it, so we're going to see if we can get someone in on that.
Definitely.
And stuff like that. And then but it's just some more kind of broken down points, like for example, like booking and allocating studio time.
So our target audience would be people within the age range of 16 to 30. We're going for a kind of alternative pop sound, and we're going to be advertising online to target the younger generation.
I feel like the ultimate goal is with your music, you want it to kind of reach everyone, but at the same time, the way you can do that is by like looking at different kind of social media and stuff, and like seeing what kind of age groups use it. For example, like younger people are going to be on YouTube normally, and so that's going to help attract them. So we're going to try and think about it in that kind of way as well.
So we're going to be producing a 4 to 8 song EP, about 2 songs each. Going to release them on streaming services and possibly on CD. Advertising through social media as a release event. Creating the album art, a documentary showing the evidence and production process, a live performance video, 1 track from the big show, and all evidence will be put on the website.
And some of that kind of work we might outsource, like for example with filming or the album art. We might see if we can get other people to help us with that who are a bit better than that.
Here we have our kind of time constraints and schedule for what we're thinking of doing like weekly. So every week we're going to have a meeting on Teams every Thursday.
We had our last one just last Thursday, I believe. We started to talk about planning for this actually.
So we're also going to have writing sessions as much as we can. We are moving towards a more write or do as much on our own because of the current climate in the world, with the whole coronavirus. It is difficult for us to get together to work, but we still want to collaborate as much as we can.
Definitely.
And then as soon as things are kind of open and ready, we're going to get into the studio and record them as best we can, just so that everything is done and ready for the performance.
I guess with a project like this, we're going to try and do as much as we can at home and over kind of video call meetings, but it's a lot easier to kind of get together. So when possible, we'll try and come in and just work on what we can together, and then hopefully it will come together somehow.
So here's our timeline. So for this week, towards next week, we're going to be fleshing out a few material ideas. We're going to begin working on some tracks. We've got some practice time booked for later on in the week. We're going to begin our documentary, maybe hoping to shoot the opening things in the studio, get some things done. We're going to outsource our meetings, hoping to work with Fader Events to organize and work with us to put on an actual show, and then also get our website fleshed out.
I believe you've already started working on the introduction track as well, haven't you?
It's very early stages at the moment, but it's working good.
Working on a smaller track first will help us to get a better kind of idea of the sound we're going for with our combined kind of different styles and whatnot.
Definitely. And then by this time next month, if all things are going well, we should have some studio time booked, some actual fleshed out ideas, maybe some songs actually written. The first intro track should be done or almost completely completed. Have our B-roll done for the documentary and our marketing agreement, and a budget hopefully completed for the events company.
Yeah, I think it's worth adding on there as well, like a kind of tech sheet of what we'll need as well.
Definitely.
Yeah, so we can like get that ready. Okay, so now I guess we're going to go through our roles for the project. I guess because I'm on the first on this, I'll go first. So I'm going to be the project manager for this. It's going to be my responsibility to make sure everything runs smoothly and we keep on schedule. But I'm also going to be partaking in creative roles such as like helping to write the EP, obviously, and yeah, and I might do some post-production as well. But they're my main two roles, I suppose.
My role is evidence collection. I'll be filming and taking videos of the production process. And once the tracks are recorded, I'll be mixing them, as well as helping out on the writing and performance of the tracks.
My role is the evidence collator. I will be collecting, organising and choosing relevant pieces of information to be used in our evidential documentary.
And then I am the planner. It's my job to kind of set targets and aims for everyone to complete within a time constraint. I'm also going to be implementing my own creative style into the mix, and I'm also going to be mastering the tracks, because I do have a small background with that. I'm also going to be leading the group to our creative choices and things.
Okay, so now I guess we'll go on to kind of this actual sound we're going for, because we were talking about mixing our genres. So throughout the group, we've all got kind of slightly different styles, I'd say, and well, some more similar than others. So our kind of whole goal of this is we want to kind of try and merge our styles together to kind of make something a bit unique and interesting. So yeah, I guess because I guess I'd say my preferred genre is like more pop punk, and your guys is.
I have an orchestral background. I like big scores and things.
I'm going for a more drum bass kind of theme.
Understand?
An alternative style similar to Dylan.
Yeah. So yeah, with that said, we're going to try and mix some kind of classical instrument kind of stuff, some orchestral stuff, maybe some electronic stuff together, and we're going to try and come up with something good.
And here we have our potential music material. We're going to be kind of mixing synths and virtual instruments with our own live instruments. We all play our own respective instruments. So we're going to try and merge them best we can. We're going to get as much live recording as we can. We're also going to be working in DAWs and synths to try and find our own sounds in them. We have some creative ideas kind of worked up. An intro piece is on the way. It's instrumental, but I'm also going to be working with Sam and Dylan and Josh to bring. I'm trying to mold things like violins and stringed instruments with like a nice heavy guitar sound.
Yeah.
We also want to sample some vocals for one of the tracks, and also do full vocals on the others.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so yeah, that's what we're going to say.
So thank you very much for listening to us. Does anybody have any questions? Alex?
What issues may you face during your project?
So I
How
think
will you overcome that?
I think the main issue at the moment is kind of getting together and working like physically as much as we can, which is difficult to remedy because of the way the world is at the moment. So to work on that, we're going to try and do as much teams work as we can, as much call, and when we do see each other, not waste time and just crack on and get everything done.
In terms of the artistic vision, I feel like once we kind of, if we kind of jam a bit in a way, and kind of get together on that front. So once we kind of get like one track down, I feel like the kind of whole style we're going for will be a lot more cohesive, and then we'll be able to kind of move on with that a lot more easily.
Does anybody else have any other questions for us?
In terms of the whole COVID situation, how much studio time do you think you'll be able to get?
Well, we're hoping to get at least enough to record, I think, vocals and things like drums in a studio. But we don't want to use as much so that we are solely dependent on the studio, because we all do have the facilities to record
Yeah,
our
we have
instruments
some
on our own.
I I think with something like this, it's worthwhile looking at the time scale. We have like to get the entire thing finished. We have until like roughly it's not confirmed, but the start of next summer. So if we can like kind of book a studio kind of session like every couple of weeks or whatever, we can do stuff in between. And as long as it's well planned out, we'll know exactly what we're going to do when we go in, and then work on stuff around it.
And we also kind of make sure that we are following like COVID guidelines and masking things, even especially when we're working with people outside of the college who aren't in our like college bubbles, just to keep everyone safe, healthy, and not dead. So if that is it, we can end it here then. So thank you once again for
Thank you very
listening.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.